Okay, so next up we're going to kind of create a little graphical element here somewhere on this spread here. So let's start with the rectangle tool. Click on that, click and drag a decent sized box, maybe close to 4 inches wide by 2 inches tall. Go to your swatches panel and let's choose medium, not as the stroke color. If you want to switch that into the fill color, you can easily do that by hitting this little arrow, and then we can actually apply none to the actual stroke there. So this is the color we're going for. And let's just kind of bring it a little bit larger, and let's just copy this. So just some of this, probably not the whole thing, maybe like half of it. Command C, and then let's copy and paste it into here. Actually, let's get the whole thing. Command C, and then Command V, that whole thing. Command A to select everything. It's hard to see because it's the same color. If we go to the paragraph styles and do a pull quote, it'll make it white. And then let's go into properties and, uncheck under paragraph the hyphenate. And then let's add in a couple of quotes here to make it look more like a quote. And let's push return, and you can't see it because my text box isn't big enough, so I'll make it a little bit bigger. Let's push return and a dash and maybe your name, something like that to make it look more legitimate. So just highlight that last line and right align it. So let's grab this and just bring it down so we can get the whole thing contained within. Maybe move this over just a little bit. Something like that. Maybe we can try a different justification on this. Maybe we could do center aligned. Or yeah, let's try this one. Tighten it up just a little bit. And then let's highlight this line one more time and come over to the character area and just make the leading a little bit bigger, maybe somewhere around 34. And we'll move it over so it's centered inside of the box. I'm going to add a little bit more space just to pad it, top and bottom, so that it's similar spacing all the way around, something like that for a quote. We can even make this a little bit opacity, maybe something like that, and we can add a stroke around it if we wanted to. We can see what it looks like. We'll put the light one on. It's looking pretty good. Okay, just never mind, I had that in there. So this is kind of where we left off. What we're going to do is we're going to add another little area in here of our coffee mug, and we're going to wrap the text around that. So we're actually going to bring in this same coffee mug. Let's just do a Command C and go to this page 3, click off into the margin, into the gray area here, Command V, and then let's use the free transform tool, pushing Shift the whole time, holding it down, and let's just bring this down in size to about, let's say there. And let's just bring that in, and then make sure you're on this, have it selected, have this image selected, and then let's do text wrap around object shape. And so it's going automatically to just the bounding box that the image is inside of. I believe this is a Photoshop file. If we look in our links panel, you can see that it is. If we open up properties again, we can see. So let's see here. Let's open up window text wrap and get a few more options. So let's just do alpha channel, and that'll actually wrap it around the actual shape of our object. And we can actually bump this up just a little bit. So if I do a Command plus, you can see the green line that goes around. I'm going to move this down just a little bit. It's not really wrapping as well as I would have liked it to. So I think I'm actually moving just my image inside of the box. Here, let's try again. Okay. Maybe if I just rotate it a little bit, that'll help with the text wraps. Command 0 that. Let's make that just a little bit bigger, the space around it. I'll zoom in so you can see how it affects it. You can see that it's making the space around the image. You can see the green line. It got thicker when I did this. So just make sure the type is on alpha channel. And I have it about 0.25 inches. And 0. Okay, so next up, I think that we are almost basically done with this. We just need to export a file for printing. So I'm going to actually bring this down just a little bit because I'm actually running out of some room. Since I added that in, it bumped it down. So maybe we'll just click and drag and just use the keyboard to nudge that up a little bit. You can nudge this up a little bit too, maybe, just to utilize Command 0. Some of the extra space. Maybe I'll tighten up this space up here just to create. So highlight that. I deleted the return. I will use the properties panel, open that up, and I'll just make the leading a little bit more. Something like that will be good. And kind of bring that down just a little bit. So I had to quickly adjust some of my spacing there just to fit all the text, because adding that in is going to create a little bit more of a space constraint. But so if we take a look, let's do Command minus just to zoom out a little bit at our book. I'm going to X out of this so we can see our front cover, the back cover, and then our inside spread that we created. Okay, so let's do a file save, just to make sure we have everything saved. We can open up our layers and just make sure everything is making sense. So this should go into inside copy. That's okay on images. This can go into inside copy. This can go into inside copy. This coffee mug, if I can get a hold of it, is an image, so that's good. And this should be background. Okay, yep. Everything's in the correct layer. You know, if we open up the info panel, window, info, we can look and see, you know, all this stuff's in RGB right now. But I can switch it over to CMYK, so you guys don't have to worry about that. I'm not gonna make you guys worry about it. Even if I don't switch it over to CMYK, don't worry about it for this particular project. But you can also open up the links panel and then quickly, you know, do a control click on it, edit with Photoshop, and then quickly image mode, CMYK color, Command S just to save over the old, and go back into InDesign. And that should update window info. I closed it, so I have to open it back up. But now it's CMYK, so easy enough. So we'll do a file export to get our PDF file. We'll add this into that folder that I give you, the booklet follow along folder, Adobe PDF print, save, export as pages, all pages, so we're in the general section. You could do press quality here, compression, marks and bleeds, use document bleed settings, and then click all printers marks. So it'll put crop marks, the bleed marks, registration, color bars, page information. Depending on your printer, they may not want color bars or page information or even registration marks. They may just want the bleed and crop marks. So you can just click those two. Just make sure the bleed and slug is actually checked. everything else should be fine. And then if we export that, that'll create our PDF. We can do another file save because it'll need to be saved again after you export out the PDF. And then if we go into our Finder or into our file where we put our documents, and we can take a look at this PDF. You can see it has the crop marks here, and this is the bleed mark here. So this is what you would give the printer. And it just exported out each page individually. And the printer would probably, since this is an 8.5 by 11, could potentially print this on a tabloid-sized piece of paper and trim it down, although I don't know if it would fit very well. But this is something that you could give the printer. Hopefully everything is in CMYK and is in high resolution, but this is a really quick, simple booklet. And just make sure to zip up the file so that I have your InDesign file, your PDF that you just created, the images that you used, which will already be in there, and then the Montserrat font. And yeah, just make sure that all of that's in the booklet follow along file, zip that up and give that to me for a grade. And I believe this I'm going to make this extra credit because I have a lot of people that are behind. So, and I am feeling better, so that's good. So anyways, great class, really enjoyed working with all of you, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season.